how do you think about, say, GMOs? This is something I actually don't know much about, but in terms of the precautionary principle and risk assessment, how do you think of...
I mean, a vaccine is to counter a disease. GMO is just like manipulation that people said, oh, we've always manipulated animals, all right? But that's not true. It's sort of like there's a difference between flying and walking, okay, and the risk you can encounter. You see, the GMO, the way the gene would spread through the environment.
It's like an uncontrolled spread.
Uncontrolled spread is fat-tailed, whereas selective breeding is very slow.
Yeah.
As Rupert Reed said, he cited, I don't know who said, that if your horse is blind, make sure you ride it slowly. And so there are two classes, like Mediocristan, Extremistan. Mediocristan, like calories versus Extremistan, stock market. Selective breeding versus GMOs. I mean, you're jumping so many steps with GMOs. So it's a different class of risk.
Right, because of the risk of uncontrolled spread.
Exactly. And then you have a blight that spreads, like COVID did, the whole planet. And we're much more connected than before. So I said you can do it. And plus, they have never done a proper risk study on GMOs, on the environment. Not one. They're saying there's no evidence they're harmful. Look, people are eating it. First of all, I'm a scientist. I like to see randomized control studies. I like to see things. I like to see something a little more formal than claims. And then you don't realize what happened. No matter what you say about Monsanto, I think would be an underestimation of their evil attribute, because they really wrecked science. Because they had groups of people who would go and intimidate scientists and people on a salary. Scientists are so afraid of losing their job, lose their postdoc position. They would contact your boss. They would contact practically everyone. They did that to me, but visibly. It was like water on a duck's back.
Why'd they do it to you?
Hundreds of letters to the university.
Because of your commentary on GMOs?
Because of the precautionary principle paper.
That paper. And then somehow I used the R word in the past. In French, it says like you're a slow-thinking person.
Okay,
the R word.
I got it.
And then they would have 15 letters from mothers of children with special needs.
Yeah.
Who don't like that a professor at NYU would use such a language that's insulting to my... But the point is, when they showed me the letters, like different names, but it was like written almost on the same...
letterhead.
Exactly. And the language was the same. So I realized there was a smear campaign. Plus, there are a lot of other things they did. Petitions, all kind of thing. And online harassment. But with me, it didn't work. With others, but the people they select for these things are usually dumb. But think about it. Who would engage in smear campaigning? The brightest person you know?
Probably not.
Okay, so you can play with them. So what Monsanto did is to cover up for whatever they're doing via intimidation. They disrupted science. And they made people believe that, hey, no evidence, I'm doing science, this person is confabulator or whatever it's called, the Luddite. Yeah, you'd have been against the fire. No, that's not the
Anti-science
same thing.
was a
anti-science, because science, anti-science. And usually they're never used by scientists. And they had a few scientists who knew nothing about risk and probability. So that was, but anyway, we had fun fighting. It was a long fight. But then what happened, they were bought by Bayer, and the Bayer is a little more civilized than Monsanto, and then all that disappeared.